Good evening, everyone. I went from like a 3 week hiatus doing these video updates. I've done it every night for several nights in a row now. I don't know, maybe it's just a good way to wind up the day. Um, Interesting day on the market. I've got gold up here for starters. Really, it's in a major tumble mode here. We've gone from on GLD about 120 to about 107. So that's got to be a good 13-14% in a pretty short span of time. As I said when it was back up here and I was sort of regretting being totally off the gold bandwagon, I would get kind of excited about this if we got down to back to this trend line. So I figure if we get back down to the upper portion of this consolidation zone, about 104-ish, which is also not coincidentally near that trend line, I personally would get pretty interested in this because it's pretty compelling and it's definitely getting cheaper real quick. But anyway, tonight I wanted to take a change of pace because lately I've been kind of putting on my my bull horns here and there, showing long positions, and I've done it with a caution that don't think you've wandered onto the wrong blog. This is still the Slope of Hope that you've known and some of you have loved for a while. But I wanted to change pace because most of my positions still are bearish, both on a quantity and a dollar percentage basis. Easily, I don't know, 85 to 90% has been bearish. And I took a baker's dozen here of shorts that have been doing pretty well and just wanted to walk through them and talk a bit about them just to give you a flavor as to the kind of things that I'm short and have been doing well. And I haven't looked at these in advance, so I really don't know what I'm going to say about any of them. Some might bear more commentary than others. And we'll start off with JP Morgan, JPM. I've mentioned this one before. What can I say? That's a really nice looking head and shoulders pattern. There's no squinting of eyes needed. That is a slam dunk head and shoulders, and I could see a target of about 32ish being realized from such a finely formed pattern. So that's pretty. Next up is Netflix, which has been an amazing stock for the bulls for a while, but it's definitely encountering some, as our friends at EWI keep saying, headwinds. We're seeing that here. This isn't nearly as nice a pattern as JP Morgan. This to me looks like more of a short-term trade. I would, if it got anywhere into the high 40s, I'd probably just kind of toss my arms up and cover it. So not anything sensational there. And these weren't picked at random, by the way. These are my top 13 best percentage losers, as it were, gainers for a short side. So these have been doing pretty well. Here's Avon Products. This is one I've had bad luck with in the past. I've tried to short this a couple or three times before, and it kind of kept chugging its way higher. And I don't know if it'll turn out better this time. As you can see, this is the third instance where it sort of made a lunge downward, and it never really seems to stick. But the more broad pattern I was looking at was the plunge through this trend line and the retracement back up toward it. I want to see if we can start to lose some of that upward momentum there. If this really starts breaking down, this could be an exciting one. So far that's doing well. GLNG, Golar, what is this, natural gas? I don't know. LNG, it says it, liquid natural gas, I suppose. I don't take any special pride about not knowing what these companies do. It's just a fact. I mean, they're just symbols. I'm not trying to be cute about it. Sometimes I know what they do. Sometimes I have no earthly idea. Just a good-looking retracement here. And this is unlike Netflix, this is one I could see myself holding on to for a while if it stays weak. What's up next? MDRX, Healthcare Solutions. Well, that's a company name that kind of tells you what it does. Same deal, very similar. You'd see a lot of my shorts look like this. They were real high, then real low, then they went almost back to the top, and just looking for any sustained market weakness, these guys would be really vulnerable. XIDE, not quite as nice a pattern here, not nearly as nice, but not bad. It would get very interesting if it broke beneath this low right here. So, worth keeping an eye on, but as with all things, worth tightening the stops on periodically. MBT, Mobile Telesystems. This one, kind of a familiar pattern here. I find the need to draw a price level on this one because it feels naked without it. So let's just put that one on there. And that's right on the money, so hooray. So that's very, very typical of what I'm short these days. BBVA, Banco Bilbao Vizcaya Argentinaria. I probably mangled that one pretty bad. Clearly some kind of Argentine stock here, a bank of some kind. Formerly at 550, way up and got to the 20 again. Sorry these are so repetitive, but this is just the way my shorts are rolling these days. Here's STZ, more of a range trade here. Certainly would, at best, look to get out of this around the 11-ish area. I don't have any stars in my eyes about that one. Not a bad looking stock, though. HXM, I did a post on this specifically today. This is a... I won't even attempt to say what the name is, but it is what it is, so I told you the symbol. This could wind up to be a very, very pretty pattern if we continue down. Could rather easily see this going into the mid-20s once again. Our old friend Abercrombie & Fitch, A&F, a real marvel during the last phase of what is hopefully still a bear market. And I shorted this one round about there or so. And this is one of those big questions of, do you just take your small profits here and be done with it and avoid the risk of it popping up to that line again, or is something bigger in play? For me, something like this, I'm kind of taking the wimpy way out. I'm setting stops pretty darn tight. So like the high of this bar right here, I'd probably set the stop. Gives it very, very little play, actually. But on the off chance that it does just kind of tumble, at least I won't have cheated myself out of those extra profits. A couple more symbols here, REXX, Rex Energy. This is a long, actually. Excuse me. So one of the, as I said, these were best percentage performers. Didn't expect a long to be in here quite so soon, but it is. I mentioned this one yesterday, I guess, but this is my number 2 best percentage one right now. Had another good day today in spite of the market's weakness, and just a very pretty pattern. Nice steady volume, so I like it. Where would I set the stop? I don't have my stops in front of me, but knowing me, I probably set it to 1064, which is the high of that bar, which would close that gap there. So not giving it a whole lot of wiggle room there. And then finally, this one is a short. Barclays, this is BCS. Nice down day here, 7.8%. This is exactly what I want to see. Changing this to like a line chart, you can see much more clearly what I'm after here. If financial stocks really start to rock and roll downward, then this will really partake of that. Just to wrap things up on a low note here, I did ditch my Wells Fargo short today, and perhaps shame on me. I might get back into it if it seems that the neckline is holding. I've not been real happy with how this is performing. What we just saw with Barclays is much more representative of the kind of thing I'd like a bank stock to do on a day where the Dow's down 100 points. For Wells to be climbing on a day like this, I don't like it. If it stalls hard at that neckline and starts to weaken again, fine, I'll get right back in because it is a nice pattern. But it shouldn't behave like this on a day like this. So I got out of that sucker. That's it for me. I'm going to my children's Christmas concert tonight, so I'm going to be occupied for the rest of the day and evening. But thanks, as always, for stopping by, and 8 days to Santa.